people consider the long term in order to survive, because that's the way these things grow and survive. Now, in a recent article by Al Gore, who's also an investment banker, interestingly, he writes in the Financial Times about this being a problem. You know, what is it he actually said? It's in the comment section this week. Yeah, he said that the short-term nature of individuals can be kind of traced back to our evolution. The fact that we always look short-term in order to survive. And we always have done. And therefore that's the way the bankers are behaving, like Neanderthals with piles of money. So yes, there is issues to consider from a corporate perspective, but simply from a principle and a concept perspective, this presentation was meant to highlight the issues related to money creation and the interest on money itself. Someone had a question here?
Well, yeah, it's about... if you have this fractional reserve banking, then you lend out more money. I mean, you require more money than you actually lend. So then the money is actually paid by who? I suppose is it the money actually comes to you eventually from
further loans.
From further loans.
You know, the national debt of America has kind of quadrupled in space of a very short space of time, 10 years or something. Debt needs more debt. You know? The only thing that stops the system collapsing is the delay between debt and its repayment. There's always somebody foreclosing or going into bankruptcy. But that's sort of how, you know, the way I look at the way I look at economic theory is that you know, it's like a car, very shiny, yeah, it's beautifully built, but the chassis itself is made of wood. Yeah. It's the chassis that everything needs to be built upon a solid chassis. Then everything will work properly. Otherwise, at some point, it's not going to. We'll just take those two at the back.
Possibly just one more question.
Just one more.
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay. Well, this is difficult for me to choose, so you choose.
What's your view of cooperative businesses and where they might fit into a potential solution, in the sense that they're a different corporate structure where the shareholders are the customers or the workers, rather than it being run maybe so strongly just for profit?
Like John Lewis.
Like John Lewis, like the Co-op Bank, for example. I mean, I'm thinking in Quebec, in French Canada, the largest financial institution is Desjardins, which is a mutually owned bank, and they put all their profits back into the communities. In Quebec, there's a few great papers showing how the credit crunch, they've basically not suffered because they don't have the same sort of banking structure.
It's a step in the right direction. You know, actually having mutuals. I went to this mind-bending financial conference at Harvard about 3 years ago. And you had some of the world's, it was all about Islamic finance, because Islamic finance mainstream, it embodies these principles. Everybody wants a piece of it. Why? Because post 9/11, all the money left America, went back somewhere else, and there's money to be made off the back of it, so hey, presto, we'll get involved in Islamic finance. And it was argued there, people were arguing for the mutuals there, and the bankers, and we had some of the heads of the state banks of Pakistan, of Lebanon, of Malaysia, all quite convincingly arguing against the mutuals from an economic theory perspective. And this is the problem, ultimately, with absolute rationalism. Am I entering into your domain here? Philosophy. Ultimately, yeah, we do rationalize to an extent. But there are certain variables that rationalism can't explain away, and people's requirements, for ownership in what they engage with, is something that is on the increase. This desire for mutuals, for stakeholders, it's on the increase. But that doesn't answer the questions about the role that interest-bearing money plays in that process. They might be less affected, but it doesn't mean it isn't a problem, and it wouldn't be a long-term problem either. Thank you for listening.
Which I think was extremely successful. And I want to thank you all for coming, and please join us for refreshments in the
exhibition space just next door. So just join me in thanking those two again for